Hey guys, what's going on? It's Fiery Moon Tarot. I'm here doing the spread. I've done this spread before. It was a part of my self-love series where I used to do a reading every um, Friday in regards to the self-love journey. And I did this one a while ago. I haven't did it in a while, so I was, interested in doing it here again today, and it's called Interview with the Ego. It's a 8 card spread. It is a guided spread. So there are 8 questions or 8 talking points where we ask questions in regards to your ego. It is a general reading. It's a general spread. So basically what it's about, is the current state of your ego. What is it, telling you? It helps you, decipher whether you're moving out of ego or not. And, how is the best way to, gain control over it. Because a lot of us, tend to let our ego override our feelings, our emotions, so this is just a spread. I was just, laying down and I was like, I haven't did this spread in a while. So I was like, let me just go ahead and see what's going on. So like I said, it's an 8 card spread. We'll do the 8 cards and then, I will clarify each one. So we're going to begin with the first card, which is, it represents your ego right now, currently. I am pulling on this energy, right now in the moment, but the readings and the energy is timeless. So whenever you come across this, is when you need to hear the messages that are coming through. So with that being said, I'm going to do one more shuffle and we're going to see, what's going on in regards to the ego. This is not tied to any specific zodiac sign. And like I said, with the time and energy being fluid, this could be energy that you've already went through, energy you may presently be going through, or energy that may be to come. So just as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. And if it's not resonating, it's just not for you or your story. All right, so we're going to jump right in. And like I said, the first card represents the current state of your ego. So in regards to the ego, what is the current state of your ego? All right, so the first card out we have is encouraged. So some of you, honestly, I do read the cards intuitively, but since I'm doing like a set spread, I'm just gonna, it's gonna be tailored to the question. So right now, some of you with this encouraged energy, it says heartened, emboldened, and supported. Some of you, could be allowing, I feel like it's like an overinflated ego. You're sitting in it too much. It's like, what is the driving force behind who you are? A lot of you may not be representing or working out of the true self. A lot of you could be, strictly working out of your ego, because for some of you it is a safe place for you. With peaceful here, it's a safe place for you. Some of you like, the comfort of the ego is what I'm feeling. And also, some of you, especially with love up under that, and it doesn't have to be romantic, but just the energy of love is, how it's how you, in a way, like how you've learned to like love yourself is through the ego. But there's a surprise coming. Or, some of you guys may be having a realization that having this overinflated ego, or overinflated sense of who you are really deems you, it's like a false sense of power, because we have powerless and empowered up under that. So it gives you a false sense of, power and control. So let's see. Second question is, or it's a lie that your ego is telling you. So what's a lie that your ego may be telling you right now? All right, so we got embarrassed. So what I'm getting off of this, it says self-conscious, awkward, and exposed. So for some of you, a lie that your ego tells you is that, you're not enough. You have a lack of self-worth, or, you have a lack of some type of value or worth, like you're not valuable. Um, Others of you, it is, it keeps you like almost in an energy of being mad at the world, with angry at the bottom of the deck. But it's almost like an act of, it tells you like this is what you need to do with that desperate there. Like it tells you like, it's telling you that like this embarrassed energy, like feeling like you may be judged, ridiculed, mocked. I'm also getting the energy of being made fun of. For some of you, like it makes you, that's a lie that your ego is telling you. And it's a really strong, lie, especially with this angry energy here. It's false. Um, but some of you could be harboring this anger because you're letting this overinflation of your ego like win. You're letting it win. So how does your ego dictate your life? How does your ego dictate your life? How does your ego dictate your life? Aww. So your ego, the way it dictates your life is it makes you feel alone. It makes you feel inadequate, which backs up this energy of being embarrassed. So it's like you let your ego take over so that you don't feel this, but it's there. It's there. And at the bottom of the deck, it truly leaves you feeling discouraged internally, when this encouraged energy is what you show outside. But on the inside, it's like you feel, and it dictates your life by making you feel like, if you're not this way, this is, you're going to be left out, and you'll never be enough. You'll never get, or be who you truly are or want to be. But it's like you need to set yourself free from that energy with the free card here. And, be a little more kinder to yourself, because by letting your ego do this, it's too much work. It's too much work. When it's easier to just love yourself for who you are, what you are. And allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, because working through your heart, loving yourself is the key to you know being fulfilled, being satisfied, being happy. Is doing what you want to do instead of staying in this state of being confused, anxious, and panicky about things. But let's see, moving on. A way that it influences your life. So, what's a way that your ego influences your life? What's a way that your ego influences your life? What's the way that your ego influences your life? The way that the ego influences your life. Yo, if I didn't just say this here. So, a way that it influences your life, we got safe and trust. So, for some of you, it makes you feel safe, but in that way, it makes it hard for you to trust, certain people, places, and things. So it's almost like a catch 22. It makes you feel, safe and comfortable because that's what the ego does. It coddles you, but it keeps you from, trusting as well. And all that does is leave you trapped in the prison of your own making. It leaves you in this trapped energy. Because normally when you feel safe, it's easy to trust. But as you can see on this trust card, you get close enough, or you get, close to trusting something, and then you retract because it's your ego feeding you a false sense of, safety, a false sense of security. It's going to boost you up. But if it's not real, then what's the point? So why do you allow your ego so much power? Why do you allow your ego so much power? Because it makes you feel like you're in control. It's normal. We got the empowered card here. It makes you feel like you have control, like you have the world in your hands. But on the inside, look at this. You're not it makes you, in a way, it makes you feel like you're in control, but on the inside it's like, I hate the word hate, but it makes you very internally angry because you can feel when you're not operating out of who you are. You can feel that energy. So you put on a front and act like everything is okay with this excited card. But it leaves you harboring resentment because you're not free. So, what's an important lesson you must learn about your ego? What's an important lesson that you must learn about your ego? An important lesson you must learn about your ego. Yo, spirit be coming through, son. Look at this. A lesson you need to learn about your ego is that this is what the ego does. This is how the ego leaves you. It leaves you feeling disappointed. It makes you, miss opportunities. Opportunities that you may need. It's fleeting. The ego is gonna gas you up, but when it's time to actually do something, the ego is nowhere to be found. It can't help you. It gives you that false sense of like, oh, it's gonna help you and all of that. But this is the lesson you need to learn. As long as you keep working out of ego, you're gonna be in this irritated energy, annoyed, aggravated, and bothered. You're going to stay in this energy. All right, so how can you gain control of your ego? How can you gain control of your ego? How can you gain control of your ego? How can you gain control over your ego? So the way that you can gain control over your ego is by, coming out. It's not even about coming out because we got unsure and relieved. So how you can gain control over your ego is like you got to pick a side. You have to pick a side. You have to either, choose between letting your ego control you or, deciding like, do you want relief from the life that you're living? Do you want to feel better about yourself? You want and it's clear, like it's here, energy is here. You have to come out of this, it's almost like you have to come out of this state of indecisiveness and almost like, how can I put it? You got to come out of this uncertainty, this doubtful and indecisive energy, and like truly release it, because that's what relieved is here. You have to release the ego. You have to let it go. You have to reassure yourself. That's why there's daily affirmations. There's therapy. There's all different kinds of ways that you can work on relieving this energy, relieving yourself of this energy. It's really just like you got to learn how to like quiet it down. And you can't be in this shy energy. You have to learn like where you're timid, hesitant, and reserved on the shy pod. It's almost like you have to learn how to put the ego in the backseat and not be afraid to show yourself. All right, so how will your life change once you gain control over your ego? How will your life change? How will your life change? You'll be releasing this worry. I'm going to get one more, because then we have, by you releasing the worry, the anxiety, the uneasiness, the concern, once you gain control of your ego, this energy will leave you. Because some of you guys, spend a lot of time in, anxious or frantic or panicky energy because of your ego, because you don't want to show yourself. But once gain control of it, you'll be open to receiving the things that are meant for you with receptive, open, accepting, and welcoming. But I'm going to get one more. How will your life change once you gain control? How will your life change once you gain control over your ego? Yo, I love what I do. You'll show yourself. You'll be in who you'll be, standing in the energy of your true self. How is your life going to change? You're going to get rid of that worry, that anxiety. There's almost some fear wrapped in there too. You're going to get rid of that, and you're going to get rid of being unfulfilled. Get rid of that hole in your heart, because getting rid of the ego, when you surrender the ego, what happens is, you step onto, the self-love or spiritual journey, which is you filling your own cup and not looking to other people, places, and things, and especially the ego to fill that up for you. So that's how your life is going to change. That worry, that fear, that anxiety is going away. You're going to learn that being vulnerable is not a weakness and a strength, or it's not a weakness, it's a strength. To allow yourself to be vulnerable is to be brave, is to be, have courage. And look what is going to surprise you. It's going to open you up to, a whole new experience. Because with this curious card here, it's letting me know like some of you are, interested in, you're going to see different parts of yourself that you've never seen before. With this curious card, you're going to start discovering things about yourself that, where your ego was feeding you, you're going to get filled on a soul level. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this. I'm going to make some space here. So we can clarify some of these. What do I want to use to clarify? I think I'm going to go with this Kemper deck. So we're just going to clarify this. Just get another layer here. Get another layer. Right. So I'm just going to go back around in the same order of the questions that I just did for you guys. But this is like going to tell us why in a way. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Right, and just looking at the bottom, we have coffin, which means that you need to just go ahead and put this cycle, put your ego to rest. We all need our ego, so it's not, like death of the ego, but it is, putting it back. Because for a lot of you, the first question says the card that represents your ego currently is this encourage card, which means that it's overpowering your true self. You're letting it overpower your tuition. It's overpowering your heart. It's overpowering, everything with that encouraged energy. So why is encouraged here for the current state of the ego? Why is encouraged here? Because, all right, we got journey. Because there's some concern, with concern at the bottom. You're worried about where, where you're going, where you may end up, how you gonna, get there. You're some of you are afraid of the spiritual journey. Because some of you are afraid that you'll be looked at as fake, with concern and a false person. And you want to be seen as this wealthy man. Second question, a lie that your ego tells you. We got what came out was embarrassed. So it makes you feel like overexposed, like you'll be judged or ridiculed, like you don't have any worth. It makes you self-conscious. It makes you feel like you're weird or you're awkward. And that's a lie that your ego is telling you. So why is embarrassed here? For a lie that the ego, a lie your ego tells you. Because we have despair and judication, which despair is like an energy of feeling less than, of feeling left out. And so why is embarrassed is here is because it's like you don't want to feel that way. You want, to, have some type of authority, so, a lie that it tells you is that you're not enough. So by letting it take the driver's seat, it gives you that false sense of power with this judication here. And it could be due to like a lack of or a masculine figure or energy in your life that may have, left you left, made you feel left out, made you feel less than, especially if you come from a single parent home. It was lacking that masculine energy. So you spend a lot of your time searching for something, that's not there. And it's almost like you just expect the worst. All right. So how your ego dictates your life is that the way that it dictates you is with this lonely and inadequate energy, which means that without it, you feel like you're just alone. You don't have any support. You feel isolated and alienated. Like it's almost like you feel like you have to be this way in order to be somebody. And that's a lie. So the way that it dictates your life is like you try your hardest not to sit in or feel this energy. It's like, it's fear of abandonment. Like, why is lonely and inadequate here? So we have the mature woman. So the way it dictates your life is because you could have learned this through a feminine energy. And we just seen like there was a lack of masculine energy. So that's why your ego lies to you. But the reason why is because of what you learned from a feminine energy, which could be like a mother, an aunt, whoever, in childhood, because that's what this mature woman energy is about, because they really only cared about looks with the great fortune here and, high honor, which is like wanting praise and accolades. So you learned that energy. You came up seeking that, and you learned that pattern or those traits from a feminine energy. So the next question is a way your ego influences your life, and a way that it influences your life is because it makes you feel safe, but it keeps you from, being able to trust. So how the way, why is this here for the way the ego influences your life? Right, and we got the child card because it's something that you learned in childhood or as a child. It's a pattern, it's a trait, a way of being as a child that makes you, constantly be on the search and looking for, you know, like looking to and for, or looking to and towards the material realm for, support. And it has you feeling like, in a way, like that's the way that love is supposed to be. Like it's almost like you have like the way that people show you love or the way that you show love, it has to be attached to something physical. Wow. So why do you allow your ego so much power? And we got the empowered card, which means like you, it makes you feel like you have control. So that's, it makes you feel like you're in control. But why is empowered here? Why is empowered here? For why you allow your ego so much power? Give me one more. Why is empowered here? All right. So clarifying empowered, we got concern, change, and the lover's card. So why you allow it so much power is because, you're concerned about, not being in control. Feeling like you're it's almost like you're afraid of change because this is like the only way that you know how to connect. But it leaves you feeling this anyway, this in this, this lack state, this state of poverty, because it's giving you a false sense of control. So you're afraid, there's some concern about what things would look like, how you would connect if you were to change. If you were to change this about yourself, there's some worry behind that because you're worried about how, other people are going to receive you. You're concerned about, how, will you be able to connect with people if you're not in control or always controlling the situation. So, an important lesson to learn about your ego, or what you must learn about your ego, we got disappointment, which basically is like what you're going to learn is that the ego is always going to disappoint you. It's always going to lead you to something, it's going to entice you, but it also causes you to miss opportunities. So, why is disappointed here? Why is disappointed here? Why is disappointed here? Because this is the lesson you must learn. Why is disappointed here? Why is disappointed here? Oh, that's too many. Give me less cards, please. Why is disappointed here? Because it's almost like, all right, we got house and sudden wealth. So what it's saying is you're like you're gonna have to learn how to build up, like, because your house, your home is, your spiritually speaking, it's not a physical house. It's your house. The body houses the spirit. So, what lesson you must learn is that number one, like I said, the ego is always going to disappoint you, but it's so that you can build a better foundation. It's so that you don't like quickly jump into things and expect, like it's almost like, how can I put it? Like, you don't, your inner foundation like has to be stronger. You have to learn how to build it, and it's not going to come, suddenly. This is something that you have to work on, because you don't just wake up. I mean, I'm not going to say that. Let me not say that, because you can wake up. You can wake up tomorrow and decide to change yourself, but that change isn't going to just be like, it's not going to come like a windfall. You have to keep deciding to want better every day. You can't just wake up one day and be like, I want better today, and just for that day. It's a work in progress. You have to keep waking up and consciously telling yourself, like, yes, this is what I want. But it's also so that you stop, building, almost in a sense, with the sudden wealth and house, false foundations, because that only leads you to back to this energy of poverty, back to feeling low. See, the ego hypes you up and thinking like, oh, you can, like it's type of like the energy of instant gratification. But that instant gratification is fleeting. So it's like, that's what you have to learn. You have to learn that a real solid foundation is not gonna come overnight. It's almost like that energy of faith with no works is dead. Like, you gotta do the work. You gotta wake up every day and have faith. You can't just have faith today and then tomorrow you're back doing the same thing. But just because you have faith today, you want to see results tomorrow. Like, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. So, how can you gain control of your ego? We have unsure and relieved. And what this is just like I said before, you have to, decide that if you want better, you got to go after it, for one. But number two is like, you have to decide to, basically just let the ego, put the ego in the back seat. Put it in the back seat with this unsure and relieved. It's almost like you have to pick a side. Are you going to be yourself, or are you going to let your ego take the wheel? Because by letting your ego take the wheel, it's going to seem fun. But then when reality hits you, or you have like a tower moment, the ego is not going to be there. Nah, they should have told you where yours went, though. Then you see that, like, that right there is proof of what I'm talking about. An overinflated ego to come on somebody else's chat and, do what you do because it makes you feel like, oh, I need to be the funny guy, or, oh, anyway, that energy right there is somebody who really needs to take these messages. Worried about the wrong thing. So how can you gain control over your ego? Is basically just by surrendering it and pushing it to the side. So tell me why unsure and relieved is here. Unsure and relieved. All right, so we got expectation and we got toil and labor. So it's by how you gain control. Stop expecting, stop having expectations of, certain things. It's like you have to drop the expectations. And with relieved and toil and labor, because it's like you're doing too much, you're giving too much energy to something that is not true to who you are as this false person. You're feeding a false narrative, a false illusion, a false mindset, a false mentality. It's basically an energy of you having to like pick a side, because what you're doing right now is like you're stealing, it's stealing your joy, your ego. It's stealing your joy with the thief card and the false person. Stealing your joy. And leaving you feeling like this again. All right. And lastly, how will your life change once you gain control of your ego? You're going to get rid of this worried, anxious, panicky energy, shielding or hiding who you truly are. This is what's going to be released once this is what's going to change is you're going to get rid of this energy. You're going to step into your true self. So why is worried and shy here? Ooh. All right. So with that, we have imprisonment and coffin. So what's going to happen? How your life will change is that you're going to free yourself from that mental prison of the ego, because that's what it is. It's a mental prison to keep you stuck and, living a false life. And it's going to be something, transformative. What it's going to do, and it's going to, for a lot of you, it's going to elevate you into, using, because the ego is masculine. Like, I'm not going to say it's masculine energy, but it's due to the lack of masculine energy that we fall into our ego. And what it's going to do is it's going to elevate you to be the masculine energy that you lack. It's going to elevate the masculine energy. It's going to be something transformative for you. Because you're putting it to bed with this coffin card, and you're freeing yourself from this prison of being worried and shy and feeling like you're not valuable, or feeling like you're not loved, or like you won't be loved, or you're going to be judged or ridiculed, and all of that is putting that to bed. You have to control it. And for whoever this is right now, your ego is, controlling you. And didn't I say some of you want to be that wealthy man? Look at that. By, putting that ego down, you're going to elevate to this mature man. But by doing the actual work behind it and consciously waking up every day and making the choice to be better, you're going to put in the work to be that wealthy man that you want to truly be. You cannot make this shit up. And for some of you, it's keeping you, your ego is keeping you from actually, coming into balance with your masculine and your feminine energy. This is like divine masculine energy, this is divine feminine, and this is that, that union, the spiritual union of your masculine and feminine energy being in balance. Mm, mm, mm. Couldn't make this shit up if you tried. Let me get the guidance or advice. And that's like the, like almost the catch 22 of it, because people can confuse, you know, people that they, you know, perceive as being, cocky or confident. 9 times out of 10, it is ego, but it's a fine, like, there's a fine line between ego and knowing your worth. When you know your worth, is going to come off to people who work out of ego as you being cocky and arrogant. But there's a difference. Because I love myself, I'm going to be who I am. And a lot of people, what it does is when you step into the energy of your true self, it is going to trigger a lot of people that are hiding behind a mask, that are working out of ego, that don't love themselves enough to be who they are. But since you are able to do that, it's a trigger for them. Well, what's the guidance or advice? And look, deceit and envy, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. What's the guidance or advice in regards to this energy spread? What's the guidance or advice in regards to this energy and spread? What's the guidance or advice? What's the guidance or advice? One more. So, bottom of the deck energy is, blossom in abundance. And it's time for you to, like, almost like, this blossom in abundance is the energy of, it's almost like the 10 of Pentacles, the ultimate, stability, financial security. But it's real, it's something you can touch, it's something that is attainable. So this is letting me know that this energy is here for you once you go ahead and surrender to your ego. Because right now, your ego has you tied and stuck with this deceit and financial constraints. It has you stuck in this karmic cycle of feeling less than. And of course, that's where the ego is going to want you to stay. It doesn't want you to start thinking for yourself, because once you start thinking for yourself as this thinking man, you're going to take off. You're going to go, you're going to, it's like you can no longer be ignorant to who you are once you surrender this energy. But this energy is what's holding you back, feeling like you can't step away from it. But the abundance you seek, the life you seek, it's there. It's clear with this blossom in abundance. It's here. It's just waiting for you to say, fuck that. Like, in the simplest way to say it. But what's the guidance or advice? What's the guidance or advice? Guidance or advice? Give me one more, please. Guidance or advice? Give me one more. telling you. So the guidance or advice, we have hostilities, which is like an energy of, in traditional tarot, like the Five of Swords, it's, negative self-talk. It's feeling defeated. But in this depiction, you have the Ace of Swords, which is, the truth. And the truth is of the matter, and the guidance of advice is cut out all of that negative self-talk that you give to yourself, because it's your ego telling you like, nah, you can't do that. Nah, you can't be like that. Nah, they're not gonna like you if you do that. That's your ego. That's what you're battling. It's a mental battle that you're having. And then we have the rest and rejuvenate, which is the Four of Swords. You have to heal this negative pattern of self-talk or, behaviors that you do to yourself. And the only way to do that is by way of truth. This is the Five of Swords. This is the Four of Swords. And from the 4 to the 5 is the Ace. You have the truth. You have the Ace of Swords. You know the truth already. And once you do that, boom, you come into balance. Yin and yang, masculine and feminine. It's the easy, like, and guess what? Like, because it's time with patience here, this is like my, my divine, spirit card in this deck, because the time is now for you to go on your own journey, a whole new journey, and clear your karma and step into the energy of loving yourself with the angel of love and appreciating and loving and being who you are with this appreciation card. And I'm live on 2 different channels right now. But it's stepping into your power and appreciating all of who you are, not just certain parts, all of it. And with Door to Spirit, it's like, for some of you, Spirit is trying to get you to see this, or whatever, God's Spirit, your spiritual team, your guides, whatever, or whoever you call out to, they are trying to show you the way. And the way is, moving out of the head and into the heart. Because right now you're stuck. You're the garden and the gate. You want to go out there and explore it. You're thinking about it. But because your ego is a safe place for you, it's almost like you're observing life, yourself, and people through the lens of your ego. But all will be revealed through the goddess of the moon, because the moon illuminates. For some of you, this may take place on, within the next moon cycle. And then you'll see all of the possibilities that there's there to have. You won't be so limited and stuck. And you'll attract the people, places, and things that you want to attract, that you deserve to attract, that are of the same frequency and vibration as you. It'll lead you to that door of value. And what it's also going to do is get rid of this self-deception, because you'll step into that thinking man energy, which is this same energy here. This is the King of Swords. You have the truth to cut out this karmic cycle, to cut off this negative energy, ways of thinking, even if for some of you it may be people. And you move forward as your true self with the action card and the first chakra. Headed right towards the blossom and abundance. So, and out of this lack mentality, lack energy, the financial constraints or whatever constraints you have will be lifted. But that's, it's all up to you. You have the power to decide whether you're going to let your ego take the wheel or is you going to drive the boat. Shit. And I've been drawn to use, I'm going to get one more for y'all. I just want to create some space because I want to get an empowering question. And this is just something that you may need to ask yourself, something you might want to, ponder upon. But I'm feeling guided to pull one of these. And as always, you guys, for those of you not tuning in on YouTube, my YouTube channel is at Fiery Moon Tarot. This video will be, uploaded so that if you want to go back and watch the full reading, you can do that too. But give me an empowering question in regards to the energy and spread. Give me an empowering question. What question do we need as it pertains to the collective and this energy and spread? Can't make this shit up. And this is just the bottom of the deck. And it says, am I living according to the expectations and dreams of others or my own? And how do I distinguish them from each other? What's that for y'all? What's that? Yeah. So let's see. One more. All right, so then we have, what are my most important values and how are they reflected in my life and daily decisions? So what is of value to you? And how do how does that reflect of who you are? And then it says, what is my mission in life? And your mission in life, why you incarnated into this life, into this body, into this time, is to be yourself. Be who you are. Be an individual. And then bottom of the deck, we have, what is my biggest dream? And what can I do today to move closer to that dream? That's it. That's it. So that is the interview with the ego. So as always, Thank y'all for tuning in with me. It's your girl Fiery Moon, and like I said, I am on YouTube. For those of you not tuning in on YouTube right now, for you guys up there, it is at Fiery Fiery Moon Tarot on YouTube, where you can go and watch the playback if you like, or you can feel free to check out my other content. But as always, sending love and light out to you all, and I will see you guys on the next reading. All right, later.